You know what I mean? So that's, once again, is the language. So what is it saying when you say you're struggling about playing golf? You're making golf way bigger than it is, which is why it's so difficult to do well. You know? So you have your little tournaments in the PGCC, and you'll know, even in the PGCC, the best players get the most respect. Totally they do, even if they're complete dickheads. Right? Because they're like, oh man, he's pure, dude. He shot 300. Who cares? You know what I mean? No one cares. Right? I mean, now on tour, they don't care if you shot 76, and they hope you shot 80. No one cares. You know? I remember I was playing one of my first pro events, the Tennessee Open, and I was playing with this big man. I could hardly understand his accent. It was so deep and southern, I almost couldn't understand what he said. So at first of all, I drove it down the fairway, but I kind of heeled it. So I was like, dang it! It's in the fairway, right? Okay. And I didn't, at this point, I didn't even know I was doing these things. It was completely subconscious. So my next shot, I wanted to fade it into the pin, and I kind of pulled it a bit, took a good bounce. It was in there 7 feet. I banged my club because it didn't fade. Right? They tell me, you know, someone like this, you have to, if you're not that person. And then I made my putt for birdie or whatever, and went on to the next hole and hooked it kind of just in the rough and threw my club. Then I 3-putted and I said, fuck. And he comes up to me, he's like, let me give you some advice here, man. Yeah, he goes, no one cares about you. Right? And if you continue to act this way, in fact, my game, then this is going to end up not good for you. And I was like, they got to care. Like, look at how good my swing is. You know what I mean? Look at how on plane I am. Like, listen to the sound of how I compress it. Like, you got to care about that. I was just so wrong. No one cares. You know what I mean? Because the fact of the matter is, he's obviously not cheering for me to make birdies. I love when guys get in the playoff and they say good luck. You think they mean that? You know what I mean? How many times do you, on a daily basis, come walking up to someone and go, hey, it's good to see you, and you don't even like them? You know what I mean? So believe me, if you're not willing to point out the issues you have with other people, there's no way you're going to do it yourself. And like I said, this is how I live. This is what I think is important. It's not right, it's not wrong. There is no right or wrong. There is no duality. Okay? It's not a sin or not a sin. You know, it's not. I read somewhere, I studied theology, so it said every sin is equal. So me stealing a candy bar is like someone creating genocide. That's completely right. Okay, I don't care who wrote it. That's completely right. And things have to be weighed a little bit different. So I think of life is that there's shades of gray. So when someone at the airport is being completely rude to me, rather than react to them, I try to treat them as kind as possible and just realize that maybe on the way into work today they found out their dad has cancer. It could be anything. And once you start to look at things like that, it just frees you up because you stop judging, you stop labeling. And like I said, all this is in a completely non-religious way. I just want to live without conflict. I want to go to bed at night, and so many things have happened lately. One of the ways I agree or decide if something's good for me, because we don't know about all these thoughts that we have that are continuously in our mind as they've been fed into us by television, teachers, you name it. All right? Is that if I lay down in bed and I'm still thinking about this thing that I need to do, I know it's wrong for me right away. I know it's wrong for me right away. So that's just kind of one of the things that's my litmus test on if it's right. If I'm laying in bed, I'm still trying to make it right to myself if I'm thinking about it, which means it probably goes against my principles, which is all I have at the end of the day. I mean, I think about, sitting down, overlooking at my funeral. If someone goes up to my wife or son and tell them what a great swing coach I was, then I completely miss the point. Like, that's just my view, to get me into a position to do the things that are normal. So, any questions? I'm very tangential when I speak. If I try to organize something, it just gets super boring. So I just let it go.
What are a couple of books that you've read that really impacted you?
Obviously, Long Walk to Freedom, Nelson Mandela, Gandhi's autobiography, Mein Kampf, all right, which sounds funny, but that's Hitler's autobiography. Okay, and obviously not a fan, but it's interesting to be able to read how someone sometimes it's important to read things that you disagree with just to see, because what it does is cement your point even more. So I think that's that's important. Obviously, parts of the New Testament, like, look, I'm not Christian, I'm not Muslim, I'm not a label. Okay? As soon as you label yourself, you give people a chance to write you off before you even talk to them. So for me to say I'm David Ledbetter or one plane or whatever, as soon as you're one plane, everyone who thinks it's two plane thinks you have nothing to offer. So that's not good. And that's why you won't see any method attached to me, is because I'm smart enough to realize that neurologically, as soon as you label something, you give your brain the inability to change its idea, which is why you have sexism and racism across the world that's never changed. That's why Hillary Clinton is sitting with the Palestinian leader and Netanyahu, the Jewish leader, talking about we're coming to a peace promise. They've been at war forever. They hate each other. Are you kidding me? Are you that arrogant to think you're going to change anything? Because from a neuro standpoint, this stuff is like in the DNA, so it ain't going to change. It's just stupid to even imagine. You know what I mean? So, those are the types of things that I learned reading those books. I read a book which, if you're interested in obviously teaching golf, or not even just teaching golf, being in golf, just being a human being, is the Talent Code. And it talks about how repetitions basically create mileage. So, you know as well as I do that you work with your coach and you get it pretty good when you're in front of the mirror and you're looking at it, right? And then you put on video, it's better. So if I took a picture of you in your tournament, it would look like your old swing. Because what happens is you get your motor cortex in your brain has neural pathways connected to it. Right? Those neural pathways is where information neurons fire. Well, the more you've done something a certain way, especially movement, okay? Especially movement. This myelin sheath, which is this fatty tissue, gets thicker and thicker and thicker and thicker. So look, if you've moved often and you've got it across the line for 15 years, you're probably not going to be centered and on plane, if that even matters. I don't even know what that means. In a week.